Hey everybody, it's Mr. XStitch here, your ever-loving kingpin of contemporary embroidery, and I'm back with another BossTube video. Yes indeed, that time when I ramble on about what I'm doing with my business and how the heck it's going, and well, there's never a dull moment, I'll say that much. Let's find out. Hi everybody, it's the 8th of October today and I can't believe it's October already. A little bit frustrating to see early signs of Christmas appearing in the supermarkets, but then also quite conflicted because as every worthwhile cross-stitcher knows, you have to start thinking about Christmas projects about June in order to get them all done. So always a source of tension, that one for me, if I'm honest. But yeah, there is never a dull moment round here. It's been really lively lately. Lots of going and doing interesting things. I've got a pretty exciting week ahead of me this week as well. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. So where to begin? Let's talk baubles. The bauble project is blowing my mind right now. It is absolutely amazing. I think we've had over 250 baubles sent in now. There's a little slideshow of them happening there. And it's amazing. It is amazing. Honestly, we've had them from Norway, Bermuda, Qatar, Australia, Canada, America, England, Spain, Italy, Germany, France. Amazing, honestly, and thank you so much to anybody who's watching this who stitched one. It truly is amazing, you know, to have received 250 baubles already, and I know that there is still more to come. Got a deadline at the end of this month, which is the official cut-off point, but I feel much like a sort of a wave washing across the beach. Although you say stop wave, I feel like probably even towards the middle of November we're still going to be receiving them. And yeah, I've got this 20-foot high Christmas tree. I think now we've got too many baubles to fit on the tree, which is amazing because what I'd always hoped was that we'd be able to just dot them in places, you know. So at Standen they've got their Christmas Through the Ages display going on where each room is fitted out of a Christmas of a different era. And so hopefully we'll be able to sneak some baubles into some of those as well, and it will just tie things in nicely. But it's amazing. It's interesting as well because I get sent these baubles and we're putting them in 4-inch hoops and we have to do a bit of weatherproofing. So every night at the moment, my ever-loving wife and I, we sit down in front of the telly for a little session. We're either varnishing bamboo hoops with a couple of different wood stains, or we're placing baubles in hoops, trimming them, writing labels, attaching the labels, piling them up, and away we go. And got a nice box over in the corner of them, all stacked up, ready to go. I've been taking photos of them and posting them on the Facebook page as I go, but I think what I'm going to do is take proper photos of them all in the hoops and hopefully be able to have one big session where the camera's set up exactly the same, try and get them all in the hoops, because I think it would just make for a really interesting document. I'm getting some lovely letters from people. There's people where it's the first thing they've cross-stitched. There was one lady, Georgina Goss, who she was in her 70s and she hadn't cross-stitched for years, and this was the first thing that she's decided to do. And you know, there's just all these little stories that come along with them, and I feel like I kind of want to document that, and also maybe even just do a little piece of research that shows where all the people came from and where all the baubles came from. So I might put together some kind of little PDF or something like that that has all the pieces in there, because if you've seen the cover of the Facebook page, it looks beautiful. It looks so cool to see all these little different colours, different designs. If you're stitching one, get them in quick, and if you're stitching one, thanks. Craft revision projects always amaze me. If you give people the opportunity to contribute to something, a lot of the time it delivers in ways you wouldn't expect. A few years ago I did a project with a charity called Concern Worldwide. It was called Stitch for Syria, and we invited people to stitch a Lebanese design. It was just a little sort of square design. In fact, if you're interested, the pattern is available in the Mr. XStitch Guide to Cross Stitch, which is available from my website. Link in the description. Yeah, and we invited people to stitch it. Same sort of thing. Around about sort of March time, sent out this opportunity for people to stitch these patterns. In the end, we got over 900 squares from all over the world, and we turned them into these 3 big wall hangings that we then took to a refuge in a town in Lebanon called Tripoli. And it was probably about 2 hours from the Syrian border, but basically at this particular project, Lebanese women and Syrian refugee women would be able to come, put their children in the creche on site, learn to do cross stitch, and for a while just take their minds off things. And it was really that was really profound. And so we took these 3 wall hangings that were just rainbows of colours of this design, and you just knew how much time and effort had gone into it, and it was absolutely amazing to be able to take them. I don't even think the people, like the ladies at the project, I don't even think they fully understood what it was at first. But now they've got them up on their walls, and they'll be able to see them, and they'll be able to know that people all over the world stitch these just from the kindness of their hearts. And in a way, it's the same with the Bauble project. You know, give people the opportunity to share their love of stitching for the benefit of other people, and it just happens. And I'm seriously blown away. What's also cool is that we've negotiated with the local hospital in East Grinstead that we'll be able to give a lot of the baubles to the children's ward, assuming that they survive the winter. Yeah, the children's ward will be able to take these baubles, and then they'll use them for decorating the ward in the future, and so that's brilliant as well. So yeah, Bauble Bonanza is turning into Bauble Avalanche, but we're loving it, and I'm really excited, and I'm very relieved. So all I have to do now is make a lantern to go on the top of the tree, get my 12 Days of Christmas, bang it all together, and feel quite pleased. Yeah, nice and easy. One of the exciting things, and I am really excited about this, is this week I'm going to do some more workshops down in East Grinstead. We did some in September, and I'm doing some now, like follow-up workshops, so hopefully the same people will come to both. Started them off in the sessions in September, and now they'll be able to bring their finished pieces. And you know, it's always, I do love teaching cross stitch because it's a little bit hectic for like 15 minutes, and everyone settles down, has a fine old time, taps into that mindfulness vibe, and away we go. What's really cool though is there was this group of girl guides who came, and lately here in the UK the girl guides have had new badges and a bit of a badge overhaul. So they have all these different badges that they can get to put on their uniforms for skills like vlogging and media critic badge and mixology for making apparently non-alcoholic cocktails. But wow, useful skill. And there's a craftivism badge as well, and they're all like official badges, and it's really cool. And I was able to talk to them when I saw them last time about these craftivism experiences that I've had. And then it turns out that they can have unofficial badges. So basically, there's 6 of them that are going to be at this workshop that I'm doing on Thursday, and I'm going to take along 6 little Mr. XStitch badges. How cool is that? That these guys will get a little badge they'll be able to put on their uniforms to say that they helped as part of this project. Like, I was so excited about that when the opportunity came. Clearly I've become a parent. I know that much, because I think before I might have been a bit aloof about it, but now I just think it's the best thing ever. And like, I'd really like Flora to be in the guides, because those kind of, I was a cub. I was going to be a Boy Scout, but there was a whole thing to do with flary trousers. I won't go into it now. But yeah, I think they're a great organisation, and they really teach personal strength and motivation and just general goodness and goodness towards society and stuff. So yeah, can't wait. So yeah, this week I've got a couple of workshops down in Sandham. This past weekend I had the honour of going to Hebden Bridge and officially opening the Bragg Market that they have up there. Happens every year. Hebden Bridge is a really groovy place in Yorkshire. It's really cool. It's in a valley. They've got loads of like just nice things. It's the sort of place I would live if I was going to live up north, definitely, you know, and lovely people, really good creative community, and the Bragg Market is a great example of that. Basically, it's a big textile fair, people selling wool, people selling fabrics, people selling all kinds of embellishmenty, haberdashery bits and bobs, across 3 different venues. And yeah, they invited me to come down and open it, got to cut a ribbon, and then basically hang out being Mr. XStitch for the day, which is always fantastic. I often find myself over time talking more and more like this because I become much more marvellous. Hello, I'm Mr. XStitch, aren't I marvellous? Yeah, which is why my wife didn't come, because she's always just like, oh. I don't let it go to my head too much, but it was just really cool, and it was really lovely to see some of the people who've known me for years, people who invested in the magazine through Kickstarter, and yeah, it was just a really good day, so I really enjoyed that. This week I'm doing 2 days worth of workshops down in East Sussex, like I say, to do with the Stand-In project, and then also on Friday night I'm doing a workshop at the Victoria and Albert Museum. Oh yeah, love a bit of V&A action. This is the 3rd time I've done a workshop with the V&A Museum, and I'm super proud to do it. I love the V&A. It's a great museum. They have all kind of exciting things going on. And I'm doing a glow-in-the-dark cross-stitch Space Invader workshop. At the moment, they've got an exhibition on that relates to video games and all those sorts of things. And then they've got me doing a cross-stitch workshop. And so we're going to do Space Invader designs. It's nice and pixely, but we're going to make it glow in the dark or neon. And thanks to DMC's E940 thread, glow in the dark aplenty. It's going to be really cool. So that's going to be pretty exciting. The other thing I've been trying to do lately is learn more about YouTube. Like, I'm really interested in YouTube. Sometimes it's frustrating because I kind of want to be able to do more of this new frontier kind of stuff that's new to me, stuff like making my own videos and learning more about video editing and stuff like that, because like I see that as being a platform. I was on the telly in March on BBC4, and you know, maybe other things will come off the back of that, but I'm much more interested in making my own channel, in growing an audience on YouTube, because I feel like it's just a great opportunity now. There's never been a better time to become your own TV channel than now. And so I've been doing a lot of, like, there's a YouTube Creator Academy. I've been watching videos about that. I've been watching videos by like Peter McKinnon on camera tricks and attitudes and cutting, and I use this software called Power Director, and there's a fantastic Power Director University channel as well, where a guy called Malik, who's very good, he does all these kind of tutorials and stuff. So I'm learning, you know, and I made a video recently that was a trailer sort of for the XStitch magazine issue 5 that didn't have any talking, and I was trying to kind of match the images to the music and all these sorts of things, and it's really cool because like I like learning new skills. The challenge, obviously, is keeping on top of everything. So, you know, at the moment there's a lot of baubles going on. I've just sent out the latest issue of the magazine. I've got things up in the air in terms of the next issue of the magazine, which is a mixtape, so there's no fixed theme, but it's like getting designs agreed with people, getting those design stitches, throwing all those things up in the air and trying to keep them going. And then at the same time, oh, here comes some new orders, and kind of like making sure I send those out and remembering to send orders to people that I should have sent before. And then all the while thinking, you know, I want to try and make videos every week, but I have to kind of do all this stuff myself. And then fitting all that in while looking after Flora for 2 days a week at the same time. It's like, the days are just packed. And then you get this conflict, right, where there's this idea of work-life balance. Some people say there's an idea of work-life blend, and I used to think that was cool, but I don't think. I think you do need a work-life balance, and I think it's as important to take time for yourself as it is to make time for work and stuff like that. And there's this thing about, you know, Gary Vaynerchuk in his book says, crush it, you know, eat shit, work hard, dominate for many years, and at some point it'll all pay off, it'll make it worthwhile, but you can't just rest on your laurels and do nothing. And I agree with that, but then the flip of that is you need to get a good night's sleep. Sleep's important, you know. So I have this rhythm. Today's a Monday. Monday is a day when Flora's in nursery and my wife's at work. I have the house to myself. It's an opportunity to really crack on with things such as batch producing videos and stuff like that. And I'll probably like maintain the momentum of working. I'm probably likely to, even though Flora and Mary will be back at some point, you know, after that in the evening I'll probably get some more work done, and usually go to bed maybe about 1 o'clock in the morning. But I can't do that every day because I know that it burns a candle too much, and if I burn the candle too much I get crabby and it just doesn't really work. So it's trying to balance all these things and keep on top of stuff and maintain work towards deadlines and stuff like that. Sometimes I really feel that pressure, and sometimes I thrive on that pressure. Like, I've learned to not walk away from it. There would be times before where you'd be like, oh, and just go and find something else to do, you know, tidying my house as a form of procrastination because you feel like you're doing something but you're still just avoiding the issues. So at least now I'm able to like sink my teeth in, and I'm very fortunate that I have such a diverse range of things to do that there's always something I'm in the mood for doing. Whether it's writing emails or editing videos or doing a bit of photoshopping or managing stuff to do with the magazine, whatever, there's always something different that I can do to be getting on with, so that's cool. But yeah, keeping on top of all this stuff, and I love the days I spend with Flora. Like, it's building a really important bond between me and my daughter, and I can't put a price on that at all. But like last week I had to look after her for an extra day, which means it's 1 day less of me being able to work and still maintain that kind of balance and all these sorts of things. So there's all these like ebbs and flows and strains and stuff, but yeah, there's never a dull moment. I can't complain, but you know, sometimes you just want to like moan a little bit. And as always, I've been listening to audiobooks, smashing my way through a few of those. Mike Michalowicz's books, right? Pumpkin Plan, Toilet Paper Entrepreneur, Profit First and Clockwork. They were really good books to read, and Mike's really funny and witty and personable. And the downside of listening to him reading his audiobooks is then when you move on to somebody else reading an audiobook a bit more sincerely, it does seem a bit dry. So I've been listening to a book called Hacking Growth by Morgan Brown and Sean Ellis. And basically what it is it's looking at companies like Etsy, Pinterest, Uber, all these kind of businesses who've managed to really grow their audiences. A lot of focus on Facebook, a lot of focus on Twitter, and how they managed to grow their audiences, the ways that they use research and understand the unique things that they can do to build their audiences. I'm not explaining it very well, but it's really interesting. It kind of looks at, the types of research you have to do, looking at your data, doing questionnaires and all those sorts of things to find out what people think about your business so that you can understand it and then gauge and improve and understand, what your key driver is. So for instance, with the magazine, I would argue that subscription sales is my key driver, because the more subscribers I have regularly committing to it, the more sustainable it becomes on a day-to-day basis. And then seeing what people want and what I can do to facilitate that growth and to get people excited. So I'm only about a third of the way through the book at the moment. It's given me a lot of food for thought already, and I've got a lot of driving down to Sussex and stuff to do the next couple of days, so I'll be finishing it, no doubt there. But it's really interesting, and it just makes me think. I've been doing XStitch for about a year and a half now. I probably should do a questionnaire to really find out what people think about it. And then also do one about the Mr. XStitch website to understand what people think about it there and what I can do. Because with the Mr. XStitch website, it's a fantastic resource. It's been going for 10 years. We've got over 4,000 posts about embroidery and needlecraft. But for about the past 8 years, it's plateaued at about 1,000 visits a day. Now, that's a fantastic figure. But it's just weird how it's kind of stuck at that. There's a couple of funny things about the website. It's stuck at about 1,000 visits a day. Don't really get a lot of comments. It's just one of those things. And if this Hacking Growth book is teaching me anything, it behooves me to find out the reasons why. I admire, there's a website called Colossal. It's an art blog, and they must get a huge amount of readers every day. And I don't understand necessarily why my website doesn't do equally as good as that, considering the amazing artwork that we've done. So yeah, there's this kind of process. I need to, make some questionnaires, do some research. I'll add that to my juggling skill set. Do some questionnaires, find the research, plot the research, meaningful stuff like that. But I feel like I owe it to myself to be able to do that, because it means that I can understand what's going on. I think I'm doing a good job. I'd like to find out how good a job I'm doing. I'd like to find out room for improvement. So anyway, thanks for taking the time to watch this. I feel like that'll do. I've rambled enough. It's probably going to take me forever to work out what I've been talking about. But I'll put links to the exhibition at the Victoria and Albert Museum, because if you're into video games and you're anywhere near London, you should definitely check that out. There's also a Frida Kahlo exhibition going on right now at McKenna. I know you're on the other side of the pond from that, but I might see if I can get in to have a look at that as well. I'll put a link to the book as well, and I just thank you for your time. If you've got any feedback, if this is useful to you, if you've got a creative business, if you're doing your entrepreneur thing, I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to get your wisdom. I'd love to get your questions if there's anything you'd like me to try and address in future videos. But until next time, this is Jamie, Mr. XStitch, Kingpin of Contemporary Embroidery. That's BossTube, number 6 in the bag, everybody. Take care. Love you, bye. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did like the video, please feel free to like the video, and hopefully you'll subscribe to the channel as well. I'm Mr. XStitch, I'm the Kingpin of Contemporary Embroidery, and I'm here to change the way you think about needlework. So if you're into that sort of thing, subscribe to the channel and join us for the ride. Thanks very much.